You're listening to Humans in Tech. Our podcast explores today's most transformative technology and the trends of tomorrow, bringing together the brightest minds in and outside of our industry. We unpack what's new in physical access, identity verification, cybersecurity, and IoT ecosystems. We reach beyond the physical world, discuss our digital transformation as a species, and dive into the emerging phygital experience. Join us on our journey as we discover just how connected the future will be and how we will fit into that picture. Your host is Lee Dow, VP of Global Marketing at Identiv.
Thank you for joining us. Today, Manfred Rietzler, an entrepreneur and investor in several groundbreaking fields, including radio frequency identification, computer vision, robotics, and renewable energies, is with us. Manfred is a recognized authority figure in strategic business analysis and planning, business case modeling, product design, and project management in information technology. He has recently joined the Identiv team as a strategic advisor to help us further strengthen our world-class RFID team and to work with the Identiv executive leadership team. Although Manfred is based in Bangkok, Thailand, I understand you're in Germany at the moment. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's quite late there.
Yeah, hello, Lee. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yes, I'm currently living in Bangkok, but currently in Germany.
Manfred, you have a really impressive entrepreneurial spirit and career path. Can you give us some more background on your experience with RFID products in particular?
Yes, happy to do that. It's right. I'm since more than 25 years in the RFID business. So RFID is the technology I had spent most of my time over the last years. So and one of the most important steps in my career was the foundation of the company Smartrac, which is now around 20 years ago. So we had started Smartrac out of Thailand. So this is the reason why I got to Thailand. Smartrac was one of the first company fully focused on RFID manufacturing and became the global leader in tech manufacturing.
What was that like 20 years ago, embarking on, a new country and a new technology for you? What was that experience like?
Of course, 20 years is a long time, and it guided me through several evolutionary steps. So RFID went through different frequency over this time at 20 years ago. So we were even working on 125 kilohertz system. Then later this evolved then into HF, the 13.56 megahertz technology, and then later on. We got into the UHF technology, working at 900 megahertz. So it was a transition through different frequency and different physical properties. It was also a big transition on the semiconductor side, on the chip side. So we started up with very, very simple read-only chips with just a couple of bits of memory, and over time this developed into a highly sophisticated secure crypto controllers with hundreds of kilobytes of memories. So, and the other transition we went through over this time was the adoption of RFID into different markets. And this for me was the most interesting experience. So we started with 125 kilohertz chip cards for applications like just ski lifts in the Alps, or identification of animals working at 125 kilohertz. Then later, when the HF technology came up, HF enabled application of secure RFID, so being used in identification cards and passports for people. So the higher data transfer HF enabled the secure communication between the chip and the reader, and especially in the years after September 11, it was a time where secure applications had really boomed. So then we went through the deployment of the biometric passport, where I personally was heavily involved on the worldwide implementation. So, and at the same time, RFID migrated also in the financial world in the form of contactless credit cards. So the contactless credit card form factor just gained recently a lot of popularity because of by its default contactless feature. Contactless means there's no direct contact. This means during COVID and Corona times, no contact means less spread of viruses.
So when you started this journey so long ago, did you foresee or, could you have imagined that, with the advent of IoT, that the possibilities for RFID would truly be limitless?
It was obvious. It was obvious that RFID is such a versatile technology that it's at the end of the day it will migrate into anything. So because with the big range of RFID features, from very simple and tiny RFID chips to identify even simple consumer products up to highly sophisticated secure chips to identify people. So it enabled everything. And for me, it was very clear that at the end we will end up in a IoT world.
You've achieved some really phenomenal technological milestones in some of the earliest applications for high frequency and near field communication. Let's talk a little bit about the advances in technology with those and what you think is next with HF and NFC.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned HF and NFC. Before we jump into the next, let me maybe dig into this describing what is HF and what is NFC.
That would be great.
Because there are a lot of misunderstanding what is NFC and HF, and basically they are the same, or in many cases they are the same. So first was the HF. So everything started with HF transponders. And there is even ISO standards around, for instance, the ISO 14443 and the ISO 15693. So these were typical RFID standards developed to define communication protocol for tags. And then out of these standards, the mobile phone industry developed the NFC protocol. This means the mobile phone industry developed an interface like Bluetooth, but the NFC interface is compliant to HF tags. So this means NFC tag is more or less a HF tag which can be read by an NFC-enabled mobile phone. So many people don't know this background story because it goes back over 20 years, but right. It's important to understand the meaning of NFC.
Excellent.
So you ask for what's next? What's next? So first, frequency-wise, what comes after HF and NFC is UHF. So this is just higher frequencies in the 900 megahertz area, microwave. And the advantage of UHF is RFID tags can read over a long distance. So the read distance can go up to 10, 15 to 20 meters. So this is much more than typical HF tags can do. And of course, a long read distance enables a lot of new applications, specifically in logistics. So tracking products, tracking shipments. So, and these are new market, and for Identiv, we have to find the right positioning in this market. Other upcoming technologies where Identiv already has developed interesting technology is the field of active tags. Identiv has already an interesting battery technology, so print batteries on top of the tags. And from my understanding, so for a lot of applications, we can find markets where the tags use the battery power to act all the time, not just being able to act when the tag is in the field of the reader. And a third element I see as new area for Identiv is the field of connected tags. Connected tags are, so to say, NFC tags which come with a kind of already predefined and prefigured cloud connection. So they come with a kind of a mailbox to the tag. So this would enable the system owners or the brand owners to communicate with each individual tag. So these are three interesting business areas, and I think over the next couple of months we should talk about this and try to find new opportunities for Identiv.
Definitely. How do you envision your position as a strategic advisor with Identiv?
For me, Identiv is a very interesting company. So good people, good technology, innovation spirit. Personally, I see a lot of potential in Identiv. And I know several of the key persons of Identiv for quite a long time, since we were active in the same market, so in the RFID market. So I look forward to become more active in the RFID market again, since I was passive for a while after I had left my positions at Smartrac a couple of years ago. So for me, this engagement comes at a good time. So I'm a RFID guy. So I'm happy to get back in the RFID business.
You ready to get back and mix it up?
Mix it. Naja. The RFID business is already there for 2 or 3 decades, but it's still growing in a very dynamic environment, with still growing with double-digit rates. So there's a lot of work to do.
It's a fairly new technology for me, being at Identiv in just over the last 2 years. I do have a semiconductor background, so that piece of it was very familiar to me. But just learning more and more about, all of the different use cases and potential applications for the technology has been really fascinating.
Yeah, yes, for sure, because RFID can be combined in any existing other business for the purpose of just giving a product, giving an object, giving a person, giving it a digital identification. So to say, RFID can be the link between the real link between the meta world, the pure virtual world, and the real world.
Exactly.
Because the meta world can use an RFID tag as a small window into the real world to recognize what's going on.
We call it the phygital, getting phygital.
Phygital, yeah, right.
I understand that you've created more than 300 patents and patent applications. Identiv is a company that focuses on innovating technology solutions in so many different spaces. So this seems to be like just a completely natural fit for you and alignment. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, this is right. I have created many patents over the years. Many of them are in the RFID space. Some others are in alternative energy, also in robotics. But the majority of the patents I had created are in the RFID applications. So I have already a broad overview about the IP landscape in RFID. And on the other hand, I'm a strong believer of IP protection. In the technical field, patents are the only reliable IT protection. In today's fast world, where products and product information move fast, only a strong IP protection can secure the right of a company to enable the company to earn money on products they had developed often over long times. So as far as I can see from now, Identiv is already in a good IP position, but over the next couple of weeks or months, I think we will work with the team and have a deeper look into the existing situation. And it's also important to identify the new areas floating around in the RFID labs in order to protect good ideas at very early stages. as earlier you can create a new patent, as broader the protection of the idea can be at the end. I personally see a lot of potential in creating new ideas for RFID applications. So not only the tags, also the applications, because RFID can be seen as a platform technology, as we had discussed before, and this technology can more or less deploy it everywhere. So besides the pure tag patents, I think we should also look in future into application patents.
Oh, that's really interesting. I know that it's just such an exciting time for you to join us as well, because the team is growing. We have a lot of really great new additions to the team who are bringing new ideas to the table and new approaches to the use cases and applications. So it's a very exciting time for you to join us.
Yeah, also exciting for me to work with new teams and work with old friends.
Exactly. Manfred, we really appreciate you joining us from Germany at such a late hour. We're definitely looking forward to working with you.
Okay. I look forward to working with you and meet you.
Thank you.
Meet UHF RFID TOM labels. Our thin RFID on-metal portfolio is a flexible way to tag and track metallic items with the highest ultra-high frequency performance. Tag any type of metal item in industrial applications, container tracking, metal-based commodities and goods, bike tagging, and practically any application in the automotive industry. Learn more at Identiv.com. Smart, simple, single-use technology can put valuable time back in the hands of healthcare workers and around the world. Identiv's capacitive fill-level sensing tags are the first passive NFC-enabled sensing solution to monitor fill levels. Simply attach the tag to any cartridge, bottle, or liquid-filled container to sense the fill level. No external sensors or special equipment required. The tags can also sense if syringes or auto-injectors have been properly administered, empowering clinical trials, patient compliance, and telemedicine applications. Learn more at Identiv.com. Physical security, identity verification, the IoT. The hyperconnectivity of our lives will only grow more pervasive. As technology becomes more automated and experiences more augmented, it's up to us to preserve our humanity and use new tools and trends for good. The only question is, are we up for the challenge?